Greetings and welcome to another Wednesday Sista Shanice show. We are absolutely delighted to have you in the house. As always, you know, it's a fantastic, blacktastic honor to be able to present to our wonderful YouTube audience. Please do put the word out, let the family know that we are in the house and that we are live. Today is going to be part 2 of the topic that we started last strong. We had a really interesting conversation with our beloved brother Prophet Maduti, and we were talking about reparations, and we were asking the question, should reparations be paid for the legacy of slavery and colonialism? And I must say, I got some very interesting comments in my chat for those who were opposed to reparations being paid out, and I also got some very interesting comments from those who were in support of reparations. And you know, it's an indication really that we still have a long way to go to encourage, to sort of educate people as to the reasons why reparations should be paid for those who believe reparations ought to be paid. And we still have a long way to go, you know, those who are opposed to it still have a long way to go to justify their arguments as well. So we're really interested to hear what your point of view is on this really important topic. First of all, let me briefly introduce myself to you. My name is Sista Shanice. I'm here every Wednesday live and direct via YouTube, and I'm going to be posting the link in a little while. Actually, let me just grab that link now so that I could be sending it out while I am speaking to you. That's what I normally do. So it's all hands on deck here. I do everything behind the scenes, you know, right? So I'll just post that to myself, and then I can start sharing it across the network. And please, for those of you already in the house, please do share the link. Thank you. It's good to know that I'm not here on my own. Rise up, family in the house. So, yeah, my name is Sista Shanice, and I am, of recent times, a student of Dr. Clyde Winters, who is an Africana phenomenologist researcher, and I did his program. And so now I'm one of his graduates, one of his Africana phenomenology research graduates. And as part of this new strand of African-centered researchers, it's all about us producing scholarly work that focuses on unearthing, you know, our hidden history. And my forte is around unearthing evidence of our ancient British history in Britain, of course, of us as Africans in Britain. And I have been looking at artifacts, genetics reports, documented evidence. You know, I have been looking across the board, doing the research, focusing on uncovering our hidden history. And family, there's mountains of information out there if you know where to look. And if you want to know about the roots of African culture in Britain and how far deep those roots go, you need to get a copy of my book. But let me tell you this, we go back in Britain to the Stone Age era. Yes, family, the Stone Age era. And there is so much evidence, symbolism, proof, you know, that our ancestors have left behind of their existence. Of course, the Europeans have destroyed a significant amount of our history, making it incredibly difficult for us to prove our existence and our presence. But nevertheless, you know, there has been enough remnants left for us to be able to build a story around their existence. So, you know, I am just loving, absolutely enjoying the research that I'm doing. And as I said, I'll share with you for those of you that don't know a little bit about my book that has now been released. You can get a copy of that book from me if you email me at shanicebooks55@gmail.com. If you live in the UK, KK, yeah, you can email me and I will send you, I will post you a signed copy. If you don't live in the UK and you want to get a copy of my book, or if you don't care if I don't sign it, you just want a copy of the book, you can get a copy via Amazon. Okay, so if you're in the UK, you go to amazon.co.uk. And if you're in the United States of America or anywhere else outside of Britain, then you go to amazon.com. Alrighty, and then you can get a copy of my book. So absolutely thankful and delighted to all of those who have already got a copy of my book. Family, you are so beautiful, and I look forward to you actually reading it and giving me some feed forward, because I will be doing another volume. I will be following up that book, because our history, we've got so much history in Britain. I couldn't put it all in one book. I'd be here writing until next year and I still wouldn't get anything out. And who knows how long life is going to spare for, you know what I'm saying? So I thought, let me get, some information out there. So I've done that, and I started our history in that book from the Stone Age era, and I've got up to just about the turn of the 1st century. And so the next book is going to be delving into our history in Britain from the turn of the 1st century. And there's huge amounts, family, huge amounts. And, so if you're interested in history, and we all ought to be interested in history. I know when we were at their school, colleges and universities, because, they made history, because they had erased us and eroded us from the history books. We didn't find history interesting at all. In fact, the only time that they wanted to talk about us in history is when they were talking about enslavement. And so obviously that turned many of us away from history. But history is very, very important, and it's very empowering. Yeah, so if you want to be empowered, if you want your children and young people to be empowered, it's really important that you make sure that they are aware of their history, okay? The more knowledge we as individuals have of our history, the more confident we will be as Africans, the more cultural pride we will have. The more pride we will have in our heritage, the more pride we will have, in being in our melanated skin. Once we begin to realize through our history our greatness. Okay, so to those of you as well who are online, and obviously everyone watching here is online at the moment, I want to let you know that tomorrow morning at about 9 a.m. UK time, I am going to be on Conscious Radio. Our beloved brother Chancellor D, who's one of the presenters on Conscious Radio, has bought a copy of my book and has invited me to have a conversation about my book on his radio show tomorrow. I will post the link in a little while in the chat. So when I do so, please do copy the link and tune in tomorrow morning if you can from 9 a.m. Just to, if you're at work, just put the earphones in your ear, okay? So they can't hear what you're listening to, and you're not disturbing anyone either, okay? It would be wonderful to have you in the house. Alrighty, so that is tomorrow, Thursday, the 24th of July. I'm going to be a special guest on Chancellor D's show, and we're going to be talking about Asian Africans from ancient times in Britain. And just to let you know, we're actually going to be homing in on the Stone Age era, and some of the evidence that exists in the UK of the presence of Africans and what we built and left behind. And I'm so excited. I've even been having a conversation with Brother Chancellor D about doing a trip to some of these sites in Britain. So if this is something that you might be interested in, if you think you'd be interested in joining us on a trip, a coach tour around Britain that actually highlights some of our ancient history, then drop a note in the chat, or drop me an email and say, put me on your list. Yeah, put me on your email list so that I get the information about that trip once it's been organized. Okay, so let's get an idea of what the interest in that would be. Obviously, you probably already need to be in the UK, because I'm not talking about doing at the moment a full-blown UK tour over a 1 week or 2 strong period, but that is something that I would consider if there was enough interest from people outside of the country who still have, especially those of you in America, still have links inside the UK, links in terms of your heritage in the UK, and you may obviously want to explore some of those links in a little bit more detail. So if that's you, but starting first of all with those of you who are already in the UK, if that's you, then yeah, let us know. Drop a note in the chat, send me an email, ask to be put on my mailing list so that you can know, you can be informed when that trip is organized. All right, so at the moment we're just kind of getting an idea of the level of interest. Right, let me park that up for now, because I've got quite a few notices that I want to share with you, and hopefully some of you are actually in the house already. Let me just have a look and see who they are. Our beloved brother Prophet, he will be joining us probably in about 20 minutes time. And, let's see who we got in the live chat. Yes, some of our beautiful, beautiful family members are in the house. We've got Fierce Lioness in the house. Rise up, Fierce Lioness. Good to have you in the house. We've got the Jamaican Junker in the house. I love so that me and Missy. Rise up. Him say reparations. No. Yeah, man. High five. Agree with you, beloved. Him say reparations now. Sister Shanice, every job I ever had in the US, I always make sure me extract my reparations. Go on. I know we are that much. Yeah, man. But I have to take it. Rise up, Liz. Yes, Liz is in the house and she's greeting us. And she says, Dr. Nbong Okokon, tell me more about Dr. Okonbong Okonkon. Who is Dr. Okonbong? I'd love to know. Brother Kimani is in the house. Rise up, Brother Kimani. Rise up, Sister Betty is in the house. If you're in the house, please do hail me up in the chat. Drop me a message. Let me know you're in the house. Last strong, I noticed that our brother Kwame Aboje wasn't in the house. I'm give him a call, I said, well, look for you and can't see what I'm to. And all now I can't get out of brother Kwame Aboje. So if you've got his phone number, give him a call. Let us know that we miss him. Let him know that we do care, about our audience members, especially our regular ones who, we kind of like, bit like a family. Guess who I met as well, talking about family, on Sunday? I met Sheriff S. Yes, as you know, Sheriff S is also one of our family members in the chat. And we were at an event on Sunday. We were celebrating the life of one of our beloved community members, Brother Dougie, who passed away 5 years ago. And she introduced herself to me. So it was really wonderful meeting Sheriff S. And, I just love being able to put a face to the name of those of you who are regulars in the chat. So thank you so much, Sister Sheriff S, for that. Okay, my speaker's gone off. I hope that you can still hear me. Let me know, please. So yeah, we've got RB reviews in the house as well. Rise up, rise up. Good evening, right black hat you. Okay, let's quickly run through a few announcements. Now, very, very importantly, family, you may recall a couple of strongs ago, we actually did a show where we focused on the illegal evictions of the Maasai people in Tanzania. And as a result of that show, you asked me to create a petition. And I needed to find an organization that we could put the petitions through. And I was able to do that. So I want to rise up GAC UK, the Global African Congress. They responded to the call, and we've put a petition out through in the name of their organization. Okay. And now we need you, family, to actually sign the petition. All right, now we've put the petition up with change.org. But what that means is that we are only able to count, or change.org only counts your submission and your vote if you actually verify your email address. So I think many of you are actually signing the petition, but then you're not verifying your email addresses, so your vote is not being counted. So I need each of you to kindly go to the link in the chat right now, grab that link, put it in your browser, and please sign the petition. Verify your email address afterwards so that your vote is counted. You will see your name come up as a supporter in change.org under this petition. So that's when you know that your vote has been counted. And then afterwards, please share, share, share. The last time I looked, you know, we only had about 300 plus signatories. I say only because, you know, I think we need at least 10,000 for this to be, you know, for us to be able to make some noise about this. Okay, so I need you, family, to grab that link, to sign that petition. To those of you who maybe were not at the time, you know, tuned into my show to hear about the trauma that our Masai family members are experiencing, you can go to my previous shows and you can hear all about it. But to those of you who were tuned in, you know, you were part of the decision that was made to do this petition. So I really need you to sign it. So please, please, family, sign the petition, verify your email, yeah, and let's get the numbers up. Thank you. You know, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not doing this for this platform. I'm doing this, family, for our Maasai brothers and sisters in Tanzania and for our brothers and sisters on the continent as a whole. Because anyhow, the UAE, those Arabs actually get the 1,500 square kilometers of land, which they say they want to use as a game reserve. Remember, the size of the land is the size of Greater London. And Greater London houses about 9 million people. That is the size of the land that this president of Tanzania is proposing to give to her Arab Muslim brothers, who have absolutely no respect for her, by the way, because they don't respect him. You know, slip of the tongue there, but my gosh, I think that was right. You'd have to be, you know, and have an animalistic mindset to think of giving away your country. You imagine have been elected. You wasn't even elected. You were appointed president of a country. And your job as president of the country is to make sure that you look after your citizens and to look after the land. And what do? You kick your own citizens off of their indigenous land so that you can give the land to foreigners? Really? Some of our people have really lost the plot. So anyway, this woman is not in her right mind. And sometimes, you know, we need to wake our people up. We need to let them know, yo, we are watching, you know, we see where we are doing, and we don't agree with it. Yeah, give the people them back their land. And that's what we're saying. through this petition. So please do sign the petition, and let's help the Maasai people to get back their land. Thank you so much in advance, and please do share the petition as well. I've been asked by our sister chairs. Sister chairs is a beautiful sister in our community, very active around a number of issues through the trade union, through local government, reparations, Galaxy Afiri Radio. You know, she's a true champion. She's out there campaigning on a whole range of issues that impact our community. And there is a Privy Council formal body that advises King Charles about issues to do with the former colonies. Okay, and there is a rally that's going to be held outside the Privy Council and the Parliamentary building. And so I've got something that I need to play for you, and I hope that it plays. You know, the problems and the challenges I have with my internet, but let's give it a go. I'm going to play you a clip by our beloved brother. There we go. Yes, by our brother Glenroy. So let's share the screen and let's play and hope that you can hear it. Okay, here we go.
Greetings, comrades. My name is Glenroy Watson, and I'm the current General Secretary of the Global African Congress, a UK chapter. On the 25th...
Not sure if it came out clear. Here we go.
Greetings, comrades. My name is Glenroy Watson, and I'm the current General Secretary. Can I just
say that Glenroy is another formidable individual within our community who has spent decades working on behalf of our community and through the trade unions. So we need more like our sister shares and our brother Glenroy. Anyway, take a listen to this, family.
Of the Global African Congress, a UK chapter. On the 25th of July, in a few days' time, the Global African Congress will be holding a demonstration outside of the Treasury Office in London. It's the same place, funny enough, that the Privy Council is also located. The reason for this demonstration is that in 1833, the British government took out a loan for £20 million. And since then, they have been using the taxpayers' money of every country that was at the time under the British Empire. This means that in 2015, if you were paying taxes, as many of us were, this money was being used to pay the enslavers. And think about this. Britain tries to say they were the first to end enslavement. It's not true. It's a lie. Haiti was the first country to end enslavement. But that notwithstanding, the reality is that your money has been used for something that you have never agreed with. Now, I'm sure we can think of current parallel in current situation going on, money being spent to murder children in Gaza, etc., etc. However, on the 25th of July, from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we're asking you to help us address this dishonesty, this injustice. We are asking and we're demanding that taxpayers get their money back. This isn't an African-only issue. It's all people who have been paying tax, rich, poor, whatever. Your taxes has been used for what I call immoral earning. because they may well have been doing precisely that, as the term referred to. So please bring your banners, bring your colleagues, bring your friends. And indeed, if you are able, wherever else around the world you are, to also show your dissent, please contact me and say where you will be demonstrating, or simply just make your presence known to those who should know. So this affects every country that was in the so-called Commonwealth, every country since 1833 that have been paying funds to the British government through your taxation. Please join the demonstration on Friday, the 25th, from 12 to 3. Asalida. Santisana.
Santisana, Brother Glenroy, rise up for the works that you do in our community. So that's an appeal that's gone out. There is going to be a rally and demonstration on the 25th, Friday, the 25th of July, from 12 p.m. through to 3 p.m. And it's outside the British Treasury and Privy Council. Okay, you can look that up. Let me see if I got the address here for you again. And, you know, we look forward to seeing you at that demonstration. Let's let them know that we're watching. Imagine, you know, up until 2015, every single British taxpayer had been paying money to the descendants of those who had enslaved our ancestors. Let me say that again. Up to 2015, every single taxpayer in Britain was actually contributing towards the debt that had been paid to the enslavers that their beneficiary, their descendants, continue to enjoy until today. And we didn't even know. So not only were our ancestors enslaved and tortured and treated absolutely abysmally by those enslavers, but we, their descendants, contributed towards paying those enslavers for our freedom. And at the same time, we haven't been paid. Imagine. Anyway, the location for the demonstration is the British Treasury and Privy Council, One Horse Road, Guards Road, London, SW1A 2HQ. That's One Horse Road, you know, like in horse and carriage, One Horse Guards Road, London, SW1A 2HQ. Okay, so you know, this is the same building that Jamaica has to report to, you know, as a colonial island, you know, and now that Jamaica wants to become a republic, they have to go to the Privy Council to get permission. And it's the same Privy Council, the building where the Privy Council is, that actually gave, you know, countries permission to have their independence back in the 60s. This is how much influence and control the officials who are appointed to this institution have over our country. So anyway, we need to make our presence felt. So we're going to be there on Friday. If you can make it, please be there. Imagine, from 1833, Britain actually borrowed 20 million, 20 million to pay the enslavers for the so-called loss of their property. And we were the ones who only finished paying the bill in 2015, and they didn't even tell us that we were paying that bill. What a thing, Isa. Oh my gosh. Okay, so rise up, Brother Glenroy, rise up the Global African Congress for that rally that you've organized. So I've got it here. So what I'm going to do is post that in the chat. So hopefully I will be able to do that. So give me just a moment. please, while I get the information together and post it in the chat. I tried cleaning up my computer a bit as well a few days ago, just to see if that helped to make things move a bit faster on my computer. I think it's helped a little because I think you heard Brother Glenroy okay with it, without it sticking as much as it normally does. So that's a good thing. Okay, so let's I'll get this for you all. There we go. All right. Just copy the address and the details, the date, the time, and everything. And I'm going to post it in the chat. Let's find the chat. I'm going to post it in the chat so that those of you who would like to attend are able to do so, because you've got the full address and all the information that you need. While I'm doing that, because my machine's not moving as quickly as I'd like it to, what I also want to do is to direct you to my YouTube channel. I've just posted a track on there that was produced by the Starlight family. It's called We Want Our Reparations. And on the 1st of Messiah, the 1st of August, every year, we actually have our reparations march, okay? And we come together from all over the country, and some people even travel from abroad to join us for our reparations march on the 1st of Messiah. And it's a wonderful day. For those of you who've never been, take a look at that video. It's called We Want Our Reparations, and take a listen to the track as well. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And you'll also see some visuals and some images from our previous reparations marches, and some of the video clips, videos that I personally captured, and many of the pictures and images was captured by our brother Delani of ADE Photographic Services. So rise up, brother Delani, for that. So I've posted the address with the time, etc., for the rally. Grab a copy of that so that you can, you know, come and support the rally if you're in the UK. And you can do it during your lunchtime. You can jump on a tube or train and go there during your lunchtime. The Jamaican drunker said, Haiti needs, yes, Haiti needs to be, Haiti needs to be drained off. 12 million Africans on that rock. Senegal has offered to absorb 1 million Africans in the past if we could work out the logistics. So, wow. But my brother Jamaican drunker, when you consider the amount of blood that was shed for Haiti, you know, I feed them land that, you know, I say them shouldn't, you know, go to Africa. Of course, we need to build strong alliances with our mother homeland, because that's where our roots are. But for us to be giving up Haiti, I'm sure that's not what you're saying. Elaborate a bit more for me, you know, because the reason why the Haitians are suffering until now, we all know, and that's because they were the first enslaved group of Africans to beat, you know, the enslavers and their armies, the French army, the Spanish army, the British army, the Portuguese army, gave them a whooping and sent them back home. And as a result of that whooping, they won their freedom. And when Jamaica and all the other Caribbean islands, they said, yeah, to do so and win for them freedom, they said, what? We are going to do the same. So all of us now start fight them for our freedom and our independence. And we were successful, hence why we are free today. But because Haiti dared, you know, to take the lead and do what it did, they are ensuring that Haiti suffers the consequences. Remember, they sent back at one time about 20,000 Caucasian soldiers in body bags, 20,000 of them. It was a bloody fight. Can you imagine? And so, you know, the Europeans, they're the first to say, oh, forgive and forget. But they don't forgive and they don't forget. And that's why, you know, they go to whatever means they consider necessary to ensure that Haiti never rises. They destabilize that country every given opportunity. You know, what we need are some of the African leaders to stand with Haiti, to support Haiti, and for them to all stand together actually in unity and in oneness. Because anytime we come together, you don't know, it's all over, you know. So rise up. We got Sister Afri-Jamo in the house. Rise up, Sister Afri-Jamo. And rise up, Dr. Clyde Winters. We got Dr. Clyde Winters, my tutor in the house. I was telling you earlier, you know, that I am now a product of his Afrocentric phenomenology research program. I am a graduate and I am just so enjoying the journey of researching and uncovering the roots of African history here in Britain. And so I really do have him to thank for this really exciting road that I'm on. So rise up, Dr. Winters. I was looking for you. You normally do a live on a Thursday, and I always enjoy your lives, but I didn't see you there Thursday gone. But, you know, glad to know that all is well, even though we didn't see you. Will we see you tomorrow? If you are doing a live tomorrow, pop the link in the chat. And I'd encourage everyone to check out Dr. Clive Winters, join his channel. He is at the forefront of uncovering hidden histories. And through his research program, you know, he's learned me how to do it as well. And, you know, it's a great journey. This is someone who has spent over 50 years teaching in the education sector in America, and now pours all of his energies, his research skills and expertise into uncovering our history and exposing us to the wealth of history that we have around the world. So hence why I'm focusing on Britain, because I'm here in Britain and I have a lot of heritage here. So do you all. So does everybody from Jamaica and Montserrat and America. You have some roots here in the United Kingdom that isn't taught to us in school, colleges, or universities. But I've documented a lot of it in my book. So do get that book. It's actually out and available now. Rise up, Sister Afri-Jamo. Rise up, Brother Kimani, Dr. Clyde, Liz. Liz Okokon. Yes, rise up. You've done the petition. Thank you so much. And shared as well. Thank you so much. So everyone else, if you could also kindly do that. And one love, she says, Empress shares, and she, thank you so much. Dr. Clyde, rise up again. Dr. Clyde says, you know, these modern people own slaves. No, do these modern people own slaves? Well, you know, we're like modern day slaves. You know, our people slave from morning till evening. They get, you know, a couple of weeks holiday a year that they're supposed to be thankful for. You know, we're on the plantation. Well, not on the plantations like our plantations, but, you know, there is a modern form of slavery going on now, I think. So let's have a look at some more of the chats. Rising up the family. If the countries in the Caribbean had any sense, they would rally around Haiti. Absolutely agree. The first independent African republic in the Western Hemisphere. Agree. Whooping Napoleon's army in 1804. Yes, indeed. Rise up, rise up. And Liz says, not in my name, no taxation without representation. Yes, yeah, they've been taxing us and paying those taxes and use those tax money to repay the debt, you know, that they actually owed as a result of paying themselves, really, because, you know, it's the rich and wealthy who continue to be rich and wealthy until today, who were the ones who benefited from the huge wealth that this country gained from our enslavement. Dr. Clive says, I want my reparations from those African kings who sold my ancestors into slavery. Yes, we've had some apologies from them. The doors have been open. And yes, more can certainly be done to give us back the land that we would have had when we were taken from Africa, to give us back, you know, maybe even the businesses that we had established on those lands, the homes that we would have had on those lands, you know, and the families that we left behind as well. So yes, repatriation needs to be structured in such a way that, you know, there is a safe passage of return and relocation that's been provided for us, I agree, by those African kings who are the descendants of those who would have unwittingly colluded with the Europeans, ultimately to their own detriment as well. But let's hope that as Africans, and especially African leaders and kings, they can learn from the mistakes of their ancestors. This is why, you know, our history is so, so important. Because if we don't learn the lessons of the past, we will continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. Dora Bell is in the house as well. Rise up, rise up. So I'll come back to some more of your messages in a moment. I'm expecting our brother Prophet to join us anytime soon. So let me see what other notices I've got for you while I wait for our brother to join us. And let me just check my WhatsApps actually, just to make sure that there hasn't been any last minute challenges. His end, I certainly hope not. Let me just bring up his name here. Hopefully he's watching and he's heard the call and is going to be coming in quite soon. Okay, no, he hasn't looked at his messages for a little while. Still got one tick from earlier today. Yeah, so hopefully our brother will be able to have access to the internet and that he will be able to join us very soon. Okay, let's have a look, see what other notices I've got here for you. Oh, yes, this is an interesting one. Right, let me bring up. Yes, it's the London Museum. If you are in London, the London Museum are organising an African Remembrance Day. Okay, and this African Remembrance Day has a theme around Black history, resistance, and the war on memory. And it's interesting because, you know, this is what we're talking about today as well, the importance for us to remember, you know, what happened to us. And so you can register by going to the London Museum and the Docklands website, and I'll post their website in the chat so that you know how to register, so that you've got the link to register. But what they say is that they're calling on the community to join them for what they're describing as a powerful day of truth-telling, resistance, reflection, and remembrance. What they said is that from 1995 until now, the African Remembrance Day has honoured the lives lost to enslavement and amplified the call for justice, restitution, and memory. Where's reparations there? So they're saying with powerful voices, they've invited Professor Hakeem Adi, Jacqueline McKenzie, Deli Ugun, and these greats of ours are going to be reflecting on the legacy of resistance, remembrance, and the ongoing struggle against the erasure of African history. So this event is going to be taking place at 3 p.m. On, where's the date? Hold on, I see the date, yes, sir. Okay, I'll have to go to the site itself to find out the date for this, right? It says 3 p.m. So there's going to be a 3-minute silence as well. That's going to be a solemn moment to remember the victims of the so-called transatlantic trauma across Africa, Asia, and the America. And so they're calling on the community to come and to be part of that living legacy and stand in remembrance of our ancestors. So that's been organised, African Remembrance Day at the London Museum. And what I'll do is I'll post a link, and I'll also just go back and check to see what the date of that event is going to be. Okay, just posting the link now. There you go. There's a link in the chat, and let's find the date of that event. Or if it sounded like something that you'd be interested in, then yeah, do click the link and check it out. Let's hear what they are saying, okay? Because these people, they earn a lot of money. They create jobs, you know, talking about our trauma, talking about our problems. Here we go. Oh, we can't attend that one. It's smack in the middle of when we have our reparations march. It's going to be on Friday, the 1st of August. You know, we'll be marching. We will be congregating at Windrush Square in Brixton on Friday, the 1st of August. Every year on Friday, the 1st of August. It's an important day for us as Africans. And that is the day when we remember our ancestors and when we march from Windrush Square or Pioneer Square in Brixton to Parliament Square. And so, you know, we wouldn't be able to attend that one. And if any of you do, you need to let them know or remind them that they need to change their date. And they ought to be joining us at Brixton to march for justice. Okay, so give Prophet a quick call and find out Wagwan, and just to make sure that he is actually able to join us today, because if not, I'll have to change up the program slightly on the spot. So get ready, family, just in case I have to change it up. Okay, get ready to jump on. Okay, I'll just give him a call and check that he's joining us, because we're 45 minutes into the show now. He should be here. So the phone is just ringing at the moment. This is live, family, live and direct. I don't have a PA or secretary in the background that can make these calls for me, so I have to do it all myself. And you know, I know maybe he's stuck at work. We don't know what the situation is, because he's always very, very busy, Prophet. So, okay. Let me see what we've got. All right, so that call hasn't been answered. It's gone to messages. So let me just start the conversation anyway about part 2 of this presentation. And family, get ready, because I'll be posting the Zoom link so that you in the audience will be able to join me. Oh, and please do give me a thumbs up as well. Can each of you give me a thumbs up in the chat? That would be absolutely fantastic if you were to do so. Apparently it helps with the logarithms. It means that you know, more people will see the video, the more likes that it actually gets. Right. Let me see what I can pull up now. Let's do something on reparations, which is such an important topic for us as a people. Brother Delani, if you're in the house, let me know as well. You know, this is gonna be a show now where I throw it open to us to have the conversation about Britain's role in the kidnapping of our people. Let's see. Rise up, family. Yeah, let me put some of the questions out to you. So, as we all know, Britain had and played a major role in the enslavement of us as Africans. And they have yet to even formally, properly apologize for their role in the illegal capturing of our ancestors. And the fact that we're still here today, family, let's remind ourselves, that we are the survivors of those that were trafficked. We are the survivors of those who were at the receiving end of the atrocities of that particular era. Okay, so we have so much to thank our ancestors for, so much to thank them for being here today. It's unimaginable, the hatred, the racism, the flogging, the whipping, the savagery that they must have experienced is absolutely unimaginable. But what we do know is that even through to the present day today, some of the effects of that abuse is still with us, and it's still within the society. The inequalities, the racism that we experience as Africans can all be traced back to those 400 plus years or so when our ancestors were enslaved and on the plantation. So the legacy of enslavement is still with us until today. So for those who turn around and say, oh, what you want reparations for, you're not the victims. The victims are no longer here. We are the descendants of those victims, and we do continue to experience the inequalities and the racism as a result of that era. And in addition to that, we continue to suffer, the economic inequalities as well, because we were deprived of our land, deprived of the businesses that we would have had on that land, deprived of the family network that we would have had when we were on our land. We were deprived of our heritage, and we have been deprived of, the glory of who we are and that connection that we would have had to our history. And so we really have suffered and do continue to suffer as a result of that enslavement. And, the economic benefits to those enslavers can't be overlooked as well. Okay, the economic benefits to their country, the economic benefits to their citizens. Look at how built up those countries are today compared to Africa. Look at the extent of the economic inequalities. We hear about it, Africans having to survive on the equivalent of $1 a day. That is structural inequalities that Africa continues to face as a result of those colonial years, and prior to that, the centuries of enslavement. And so these structures that oppressed us in the past have now been modernized and continue to oppress us today. And so for those who feel that, reparations is not due, you need to look at the structural inequalities, the extent to which African countries continue to be exploited and continue to suffer, from the inequalities of the economic treatment that they get from those former colonizers of theirs. And you will see, if you're looking through fair eyes, that change is definitely needed. Okay, and it can't come soon enough. And so, family, what are your thoughts? Let me put some questions out to you, our wonderful audience. Do you think enough has been done to educate the British public about the true extent to which Britain's role in the enslavement trade and its lasting impact has had? Do you think enough has been done? Why do I ask the question? Because when I was preparing for today's show, I actually came across an article because let me see if I can find it. The church a couple of years ago in England, the Church of England had actually said, let me pull this up because I've got it here in my presentation. Let's grab it. Hold on a second. Yeah, while I'm doing this, I'll talk it through anyway. But a couple of years ago, the Church of England had decided that it was going to put 100 million aside. It was going to set up a fund totaling 100 million. And this fund was for so-called slavery reparations, okay? So the church was recognizing that it had played a major role in the so-called slave trade, in the enslavement of us as Africans. And, you know, its way of apologizing for what it had done was it suggested to put aside 100 million. So the Church of England said it was going to allocate 100 million, a fund with 100 million in it to address the historical, their historical role in slavery. Okay. Now, obviously, that is totally insufficient. You can't do much with that, you know. You can't do much with 100 million. But, you know, the fact that they were actually considering to put a fund of 100 million aside, I suppose, was a step in the right direction, many might say. All right. So they did that. However, a year later, when it was investigated, it was found that they hadn't actually done anything to put that fund together, and they hadn't started paying out or doing anything, you know. So yeah, they announced it, it sounded great, but they took no action. Now, I'm sure most of us are not surprised by that, because isn't that just typical when it comes to issues to do with race, that, you know, there's a mountain of great reports, a mountain of policies and promises that just never get followed through when it comes to dealing with issues around race. And as shameful and as disgraceful as the role of the church was, you know, in our enslavement, it still, you know, has done nothing to start, you know, dishing out this fund. And it's not consulted with the community about how this fund should be spent. You know, remember, they had churches on top of some of these dungeons, and our people were underneath in the dungeons, yeah, in the most inhospitable, indescribable kind of conditions, yeah, waiting to be put on those ships. And they had churches on top of them, and they were singing hymns and practicing their religiosity, you know, while our parents and our forefathers were underneath. So they had a major role to play. You know, the first slave ship, it said, was name was Jesus. Imagine that. Okay. So anyway, reason why I asked the question about whether or not the education system is doing enough to educate the people of Britain about their shameful and disgraceful past, and why it is that reparations is due, is because when I was looking at this matter and following it up to see if, you know, they'd actually started, to find out what they'd actually started doing so far to allocate these funds and where these funds have been going, I found a report in the Anglican Link that their parishioners were threatening to stop making donations to the churches in protest at the 100 million so-called slavery fund that the Church of England had announced. My family, these are Christian people. If Christian people are opposing, yeah, the allocation of funds by the church, you know, from going forward, what does that say about the rest of the country? Let me hear your thoughts on that. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? The church has offered a measly 100 million. You know, there are those of us who think that that fund should go into the billions, you know, and that 100 million is totally inadequate, you know, and here we are hearing from Christian practitioners who are threatening to stop contributing towards the church because they don't want that money to go into the slavery fund. Wow, wow, wow. What say you, family, about that? So I want your views and your thoughts on that. And also just to throw into the pot that there was a report that was completed by a group called the Brattle Group. And they estimated that the former European colonizing powers owed between, listen to this, between 79 to 102 trillion to countries populated by the descendants of former enslaved Africans, with Britain alone owing between 15 to 20 trillion, not even billion, you know, trillion. Yeah, and the parishioners, who are probably mainly white, were threatening to withhold their contributions to the church if the church decided that it was going to be putting some of what they considered to be their donations into the slavery fund, which may then get distributed to the descendants of the enslaved. This is the Christian spirit in the UKKK. Wow, wow, wow. Back to that report. International Court of Justice, Judge Patrick Lipton Robinson, who contributed to the report, said ministers cannot continue to ignore the greatest atrocity, signifying man's inhumanity to man. See there, you know, this report that said that these colonizing powers owe between 79 to 102 trillion to our countries, and that England alone, Britain alone, owed between 15 to 20 trillion. And the church, that should be at the forefront of, you know, driving home and leading by example in terms of paying reparations, was actually threatened by their parishioners that if they were to go ahead, then they would stop contributing towards the church funds. Could this be the reason why we've heard nothing more about that 100 million? Let me go to the chat and hear what you, the family, has to say. And also let me post the link, the Zoom link, so that should you wish to do so, you can actually jump on and join me, because my guest for today has obviously been unable to make it, and I'm sure there is good reason for that. He's not accessible at the moment via phone, so I don't know the reason why, but I'm sure there is a good reason for that. So I've just posted the link so that you can jump on and join me here live on screen, because let's have a conversation about this, about reparations, the church, the amount that is owed to us, and what needs to be done so that, you know, we can make sure that, if not in our generation, in our children or children's children's generation, the same payment that was being made to the enslavers is made to us as a people. So come on, do this search. Let's get there. If you're not able to get on via the link, I'm just going to get you the passcodes as well, so that you've got the passcode to jump on and join me on stage here. Don't be shy either. You are most welcome. And let's just taking its time, but it'll actually get there, hopefully. So that's the link. Okay, where's the passcode? Here it is. There's the meeting ID. I'm just copying that now, and I'm going to post that also in the chat so that you can join me here. Okay, so you can join me via the link, or you can join me by going into Zoom and putting in that meeting ID and that passcode. Okay, I look forward to joining me. If you don't want to put on your video, you don't have to. You can just join me via the audio. Okay, that would be absolutely fine as well. So you know, one of the questions that I'm throwing out there to you is, you know, tell me, do you think enough is being done to educate the British public about the need for them to pay reparations to us, and why reparations ought to be paid to the descendants of the enslaved? And also, do you think the inequality, to what extent do you think the inequalities that we're actually experiencing today and the racism that we're experiencing today is actually rooted in this historical legacy of slavery? And if it is the case that the racism that we're experiencing today, in your thoughts, the institutional racism, the structured racism, etc., is rooted in our enslavement, what do you think the institutions like the banks, the universities, the government departments, etc., ought to be doing? Yeah, these are the ones that profited from our enslavement, you know, as well. What should they be doing, you know, to redress and to address the imbalance that we're currently experiencing? All right, British society, as we know, would look very, very different today if it wasn't for, you know, those hundreds of years of free labor that they got on the plantations from our ancestors. So we need to get some redress. And what should that redress look like? Yeah, let's go over to the chat and see what messages I've got and what you're saying in there. Okay. There we go. Right, let's find my live. There I am. Okay, so the question, should reparations be paid to the descendants of the enslaved? Liz says, London Docklands Museum's 1st of Maasai, sis. Yeah, on the same day as our reparations march. Liz, you in London? Will we be seeing you on the 1st of Maasai at Windrush Square? I certainly hope so. By the way, just to mention as well, I'll be there with some of my books. So my books will be available on a first come, first served basis. So if you want to get a copy of my book, yeah, check me out at Windrush Square on the 1st of Maasai. That's the 1st of August for those of you who don't know. DAWR says Diaspora African Women's Renaissance. Diaspora African Women's Renaissance. Tell us a bit about that. If you want to jump on to the Zoom and tell us a bit about the Diaspora African Women Renaissance, you have an opportunity to do so. Dora L is saying Dr. Cambon must see lecture. Okay, what's that lecture, Dora L? Debunking the Africans Sold Africans myth. A conversation with Dr. Obedele Gabon on the Black Trauma podcast. That sounds really interesting. And yeah, I mean, there's so much lies that we have been told throughout history about our history, the history that has been taught to us in school, college, and university, as we know, you know, is made up of, and it's packed with lies. And I'm sure, and a lot of lies exist around the enslavement era as well, especially in terms of where they picked us up from. You know, the the story around us being picked up from Africa and brought to the Caribbean is only part of the story. The other part of the story that they forgot to tell us is that there were hundreds of thousands, probably millions of us that was living in Britain prior to our enslavement, and they emptied Britain, England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. They emptied the Africans from Britain and put us onto those ships as well and sent us to the plantations. There's a huge story around that, and you know, I'll be addressing that at another time in a lot more detail. So yes, you know, trying to blame all the African kings and African leaders at the time of being wholly responsible is totally unacceptable, and it is a lie. I'm not saying that there weren't some who were complicit in it, you know, just like today, we've got rogue leaders who are selling their citizens short, yeah, who are allowing, you know, all sorts of atrocities to happen to their citizens. The same thing happened back then. So, you know, these institutions, unfortunately, are not always operating in the interest of the people. So we need to remember that as well. Yes. Oh my, yeah, the march is going to be absolutely fantastic. It is every year. Valerie, rise up saying, thank you for the great work that you do, sis. Much respect. Rise up. Thank you so much, Sister Valerie. More love to you. And you say that he is a master researcher. If you're talking about Dr. Winters, yes, he is. He's written, there you go, Valerie, you don't know. Dr. Winters has written about 50 books, at least 50 books. And, you know, I've got a number of his books here, and I hope you all have too, because, you know, I know only too well the amount of work that actually goes into writing one book, much less 50 books, you know. Wow, that's a lifetime achievement and accomplishment. And it would be a crying shame if there is anybody listening in the audience right now that doesn't have at least one book of Dr. Clyde's. Dr. Clyde, if you're still in the house and you want to jump on and tell us about your books, you are welcome to do so. Doravel says, until Afrikaans start developing weapons for their own protection, those on the continent and in the diaspora have no freedom. You know what? When you look at what's going on in Palestine right now, you know, if I was a leader of an African country, I would have to be developing, you know, weapons for our protection, because wow, family, if they can do that to people who look more like them than we do, oh, what then would I do with we? And who said them now about start pounding when them finish with feed them on our people? It's serious. I was watching a video recently, and the extent to which Palestine has been flattened is unimaginable. It has, they've just totally destroyed Palestine. You know, the whole region that I saw an aerial view of, you know, and this aerial view, you know, covered a significant distance. It was all rubble. It was horrific. And if they can get away with doing something like that in this day and age, which they are getting away with doing, what's to stop them turning on us next? Family, this is what happens when your country is weak. This is what happens when you can't protect yourself. This is what happens when the bullies of the world decide that they want your land. Let's not forget, Europe was once a black land. Australia was once a black land. New Zealand was once a black land. America was once a black land. Canada was once a black land. There is so much of the world that these people have conquered and already taken and completely erased us from. The whole of North Africa and the Mediterranean countries were all originally Black lands. But today, the people who occupy these lands and claim it as their own are not melanated people at all. So the atrocity that we're witnessing today in Palestine is what our ancestors suffered over the last 6,000 years or so. Serious things, family. Wow. Okay, so family, our guest today obviously is unable to make it. I don't know why, but I'm sure there's a good reason why he's unable to make the show today. But if you are in the audience and you'd like to jump on and join me, I have posted the links. Please do. You are most welcome. Jamaican Jam Crow, you want to come join me? You'd be welcome. Dr. Clyde, you want to join me? Sister Valerie, Dora Vale, you are welcome. Sister Afri Jamo, come. I know if our brother Kwame Oboje was in the house, he would certainly join me. Kwame Boje, I hope all is well with you. I didn't see you last strong, not seeing you today. It's so unlike you. I just hope all is well your end. So family, we're talking about reparations today, and I'd like to hear your views and your thoughts. And Liz says African royalty were enslaved and disenfranchised as well in their own lands too. What a thing. Absolutely. And there was too much infighting going on, you know, too much, sorry to use the word, tribalism, you know, and it's still going on until today. And we don't realize that, you know, while we're fighting each other and slaughtering and murdering and killing each other, we are weakening ourselves. And the winner isn't a winner at all, because that winner is going to emerge weak and battered, unorganized, and unable to defend itself against the next force that comes in. And all they need to do, those external forces, all they need to do, yeah, is to set the cat among the pigeons, so to speak, you know, cause some ethnic tensions that spill over into ethnic violence on our land. Sit back, watch us kill each other, and then when we're all, you know, battered and bruised and war torn, they just move in and take over. Wow. So we have to learn from our history. Okay, rise up, Michael. Michael says only actually proven victims who have suffered actual tangible harm from the violation of individual rights are granted reparations. So family, what do you think? Is the level of racism, inequalities, cultural destruction that we've experienced so far and continue to experience not evidence in its own right that we are deserving of reparations? Is the history of what our ancestors went through not enough, you know, to evidence the fact that they were, and therefore we are deserving of reparation? Is the fact that, you know, the so-called enslavers, you know, were paid millions, you know, until 2015, not enough to justify, you know, the fact that up until today, reparations is still very relevant? What do you have to say about what Michael has said? Rise up, Sonia. Sonia says, thanks for the update, Sis Shanice. I thought things had gone real quiet from the UK Church of England. Yeah, on the millions they have put forward as a start towards reparations. We must not let this pass. Rise up. Absolutely agree. Angela says, altogether giving Africa. Oh, rise up. Sister Angie is in the house. Altogether giving Africa. Graham, have you promoted your book yet? Rise up. There's the book. Please do get a copy. I want to rise up Sister Angie, who bought a copy on Sunday. I was telling you at the beginning of the show about that wonderful event that was organized for our brother Dougie. Yes, Sister Angie, one of the beloved sisters that bought my book on that day. Rise up, sis. She's currently reading the book. Oh, I am honored. Absolutely honored. Thank you. So it doesn't look as though anyone's going to be brave enough to join me today. It would have been lovely to have had, your views and your thoughts coming live and direct about this topic and how the British society ought to be addressing reparations. And I would have wanted to hear your thoughts about, the church as well. And there's a number of organizations that have been set up as well. Let me see if I can find some of them that I actually came across. So I did mention about the 15 to 20 trillion that the report has estimated that Britain actually owes its former colonies. What are your thoughts about that? How can we get them to pay those sums of money? And given that report, what do you think the British government ought to be doing to actually acknowledge the fact that they owe us this debt? What would repayment look like in practice? What do you think repayment ought to look like? I watched a clip a short while when I was preparing for the show today. I watched a clip that was of one of our Black MPs in the Houses of Parliament actually asking Parliament about reparations. And, well, no, they was asking for an apology. 25 years ago, Bernie Grant, one of our MPs before he died, stood up in the House of Commons and was asking the House of Commons, House of Parliament, to apologize for enslavement. And they refused. And she asked about a year or so ago, the then Prime Minister, Runak Suki, whatever his name is, the Indian one, for an apology, and he refused to apologize as well. So this is the fight we've got. They don't even want to apologize for their historical wrongs. Imagine. So we've got a situation where the Christians among them said that they would refuse to continue contributing towards the church if any of that money was going to be paid into reparations. We've got reports that are estimating that Britain alone owes us 15 to 20 trillion. You know what this country is like. Make you owe them £20. Make you owe the gas company, the electricity company, the water board, the phone company, even £20. I'm telling you, family, you'll be getting phone calls, you'll be getting letters, they'll be running you down for their money. And it's estimated that they owe us 15 to 20 trillion. When I say us, I'm talking about, our countries. And of course, that means the money would also have to be invested into the citizens of those countries as well. So, this is the extent to which we are actually owed. And it is a legal demand, a legal case is being made. There's a moral case as well. So they have a legal and a moral obligation, to redress the wrongs as well, just like the Jews are being paid reparations. We deserve our reparations as well. And when you consider the scale of the atrocities that we suffered, when you consider the extent to which, and the length and the time that our atrocities lingered for, there's no other group anywhere in this world at any time in history that has suffered at the scale and for the time that we suffered as a people. Rise Up Nana has joined me. Take yourself off mute. Let me talk to me more dry. I don't know how you do it, but welcome, Nana Prophet Maduti. Let me turn on my speaker so that I can actually get the volume coming through. Right, rise up, Prophet.
Yim ang mahat o tepe neke je senebe. Sister Shanice, I have to apologize to you. me did the whole work and my work I'm just forget. No, well, I'm gonna tell the truth, sis. Me have to apologize to you and the family and everything. Because me just when me at work, it's like me going a zone, you know them way there.
Yeah.
Your husband can tell you, how it go, when we are doing this decorating thing, You just it's like a going a zone, I never remember say.
Wow.
Me have the show do,
You never see my phone, you never hear my phone call. Me I call you.
No. Oh no. Yes, that's right. Me have the show, the phone on silent. I don't know.
Oh. Well, family, you heard the Afropology from our brother Prophet, but he's jumped on just to explain to us what happened. So now we know. I don't know how much of the conversation you were hearing.
I just got the last tail end of you saying no other group has been through what we have been through, which is so true. So that's what but I don't know what led up to that. I don't know what it was you were speaking about, etc. So I do apologize.
Okay, a couple of things. I'll just be very brief because we want to hear from you because, for me, this is your area of specialism. You spent so many years of your life actually talking about reparations, researching reparation, representing the community on reparation, etc. We want to hear from you. One of the things I mentioned is that I'd come across this report by the Brattle Group that estimated that we are actually owed, or the former colonies are actually owed 15 to 20 trillion at least, and that that Britain size of that debt is 15 to 20 trillion. So let me rewind. The report said the amount that is owed to its former colonies is around 79 to 102 trillion. And Britain alone owes its descendants and its former colonies 15 to 20 trillion. And I was saying, if you ever owe the electricity company, the gas company, the water company, even £20, these people are on your case. You better pay up. They are sending bailiffs after you for their money. And these people, it's estimated, owe us 15 to 20 trillion. I don't know if we really kind of get a sense of the enormity of the debt. So I'd love to hear, your comments about that figure that's been estimated. There was someone in the chat, Michael was saying, only actual proven victims that suffered tangible harm, from the violation would be entitled to be granted reparations. So, he's obviously someone who thinks that we are not entitled to reparations as the descendants. And I actually spoke about the fact that it was only in 2015, so this is how current and relevant this all is, that we finished paying for the debt to the enslavers. And also we talked about the economic disadvantages that the former colonies continue to suffer, up until today, and the extent of the disadvantage as a result of enslavement. So we touched on that. Also, very importantly, I'd like to hear your opinion on the situation regarding the Church of England. If you remember, a couple of years ago, they announced that they were going to allocate a budget of 100 million and that they were going to use this money to start paying reparations. A year later, not a single penny had been paid out. And when I looked into it further, I found an article by the Anglican Church to say that their parishioners were threatening to withhold donations to the church if their money, in fear of their money ending up in the reparations pot. These are Christians. So this is what we are up against. I mean, I've also was sharing with the family that we got the Reparations March on the 1st of Maasai, and that we want everybody who's in the UK to join us on that march. So I've recently uploaded a video. I might play it at the end of the show. And it's got some photos by AD Photographic Services and myself, and some video clips of previous reparations marches, and that we want to see them there. So we covered quite a bit, you know. Over to you now, Prophet. Please share your thoughts and comments on what I've said so far.
Well, you know, my sister, the first thing is, in my opinion, you can't put a price tag on what happened to our ancestors. That's the first thing. You know, 15 trillion, 1 zillion, 1 gillion, you know, there's no price tag on what them owe us for what them do. They could never pay us back. However, they can compensate, but them can't pay way back. You know, those lives that was lost in the Middle Passage, the destruction of kingdoms, the destruction of empires, of a lot of our scientific work was stolen. You know, this is how they were able to advance themselves. You know, you know, the in terms of finance, they could never pay way back. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. That's the first thing. However, in the climate that we live, in the system that run money, run things, shouldn't be Bitcoin and all that thing. Whatever it is, there's a financial retribution that we desire, so that we can advance ourselves and create things that we want without having to depend on them. In that respect, them owe with big time. But as I have always said, you know, reparation is not something somebody can give, you know. It's something you're going to have to take. You understand? The Jews were able to get reparations only in that NATO, the West, assisted them from taking it from the Germans. You understand me, I say? The Germans was not in no position now to defend themselves. They must have forward some can. Yeah, because they get boxed up. You see my deal with? And we know the arrogancy of these powers that be. Anything I get from these people, you're going to have to take it. It's as simple as that. You understand? And the only way we're going to take that is that we have to get our house in order. And unfortunately, and I'm going to be yelling a bit because I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning working, so please do forgive me, my people. You know, we have to get our house in order as African people. And our house is in a disarray. We're all over the place. We can't agree on anything. We disagree religiously, spiritually. We disagree with how we should even deal with these people, how we should engage with them. And so we have to get our minds right. Because if they want to give us the 15 trillion where they are talk about, or the zillion, whose banks is it going to go into? You understand me? We have to get our e-commerce right. You understand me? There's a lot of work to do. We have a lot of traitors amongst us. We have to eradicate them. Get rid of them. Yeah? Try to turn them back to the good side. And if them decide that them don't want to turn back, we just get rid of them. There has to be a purging for the forest to grow back, you know. It has to burn down. You understand me? So, you know, we have to get our house in order, Sister Shanice. You understand me? Our house is out of order. And we have to get some order back in our yard. We have our young people killing each other anywhere we there. We just kill each other. Yeah? Fill with gun and fill with bullet. People.
Coming like it on a McFui.
You know what? Oh. You understand me?
I think you just went through an area of bad reception there. If you could just repeat what you just said, please.
I said we have to take some serious measures. Yes. We have to be serious about that. You take for instance now, from 2014 where do this annual African Reparations Day march.
Right.
And you hear people fighting down, marching. You're begging. And all them sitting there. But it's more than that. It's not just about us meeting on that day and marching. It's about the unity that it creates. It's about us galvanizing ourselves together to try and work on a solution for our situation. You understand me? While still holding these people to account for the atrocities that they have done. Imagine saying, I feed them school we're going on. So them now really go tell we the story of how them abuse we, you know. And we for tell a story there. You understand? See? So we have to re-Africate ourselves. Yeah? And get an Africological point of view. We have to change the paradigm of how we even think. We have to change how we think about what success is. What's our definition of success? Because definition of success, yeah, is through the eyes of the conquerors. That's how we define success, you know. We don't define success with an African paradigm. We define success based on what we have been trained within the so-called educational system. So we have to even check. We have to, what we see as success. What do we define as happiness?
Bit of bad reception going on there.
You know,
you're chipping in and out, Prophet. I think you must be going through an area of bad reception. But we hear our...
Is it better?
Yes, okay, yes. Carry on.
Yeah, we have to totally change the way that we view even the world.
Yeah.
Many of us, we get up today, and if we don't have whole heap of money in the bank, yeah, if we feel say we don't have a nice enough vehicle or things now run, we get depressed.
No, audio's gone. Audio's gone. So, you know, we have to completely, you know, rethink the way that we even think. We've got to liberate our minds. It just reminds me of the conversations we're having about us being mentally enslaved as Africans. Yes, our ancestors did a hugely successful job at liberating us from physical slavery. But then there is the lingering job now that we need to do to remove the shackles of enslavement from around our brains. We are being indoctrinated by them and programmed by them on a daily basis. And many of us probably don't even realize it. Like you said, Prophet, you know, we get up in the morning and we've been programmed, you know, how to think, what to do for the day, what our priorities ought to be, what we should be concerned about and what we ought not to be concerned about. You know, we're not in our right mind. So, you know, how would you suggest, what are the important steps, Prophet, you think that we as a people need to be taking now to try and dismantle, those invisible chains that are on our mind and that has been there since we have been, liberated from the plantations? What are the steps that the people you think we should be taking now today, to start restore ourselves back to our rightful mind?
My sister, one of the things that I'm going to be very clear about, I don't have all the answers. Yeah, and anybody who feels them have all the answers, don't listen to them, the people there. Yeah, because them all up in themselves. We have to create the answers. Like we. You understand me, I say, my queen? Yeah, we have to work out the answers together. I can give a suggestion, but my suggestion might be totally rubbish. And your suggestion might be better. So we roll with your suggestion. One of the things that I know do work is creating our own independent institutions of learning.
Yes.
See, yeah. I'm totally behind that. I know that work because I've been involved in one for many years, and I've seen them all around the place, and I see when the children take it on board how great they have become. You understand me?
Yes,
yes. Yeah, when you go into an institution that is totally dedicated to Africating your children from an African point of view. And I'm going to tell you a story. We have our Saturday school, yeah, that has been running for 33 years. Nubia African Community Foundation School. It was founded by Dr. Femi B. Cup. It was his brilliant child. And we all work together, many of us. There's loads of people that's responsible for it. But recently, we've had some children start. And one of the children, that comes every week with her, see? And we have 2 assemblies. We have before, and we have one the noon after. And we have a circle, and it's male, female, and we recite oaths. And so we have 12 oaths of Mahat that we recite. And the first oath is, it is my duty to pursue and know Mahat as truth. Number 2 is my duty to work for and promote Mahat as justice. Number 3, it is my duty to protect and practice Mahat as right. Number 4, it is my duty to stand myself the rule and guidance to ones younger than us. Number 5, it's my duty to be sincere in my relationship with others. Number 6, it is my duty not to cause emotional affliction to others. No, it's my duty to get my think and how I behave. Number 7, it's my duty not to cause emotional harm to others. Number 8, it's my duty to be respectful to my elders at all times. Number 9, it is my duty to preserve, replace, and return that which does not belong to me. I think Europeans need to listen to that one there. See? Because them have all the way with artifacts and our people's remains in them dirty museum. Yeah? Number 10, it is my duty to extend courtesy to and to demand courtesy from all people. You know, we are saying, no, just be respectful. If anybody disrespect you, then you know what you have to do. You have to assert yourself. Number 11, it is my duty to be just in speech, judgment, and action. And number 12, it is my duty to live by the discipline of Mahat as balance. Now, this is what we recite. So we have a call and response in the assembly. So somebody will say, it is my duty to pursue and know matters as truth, and we'll say together, it is our duty to pursue and know matters truth. And then we have an address. So you have every strong, an elder and a Nubian, that's what we call with children them, will give an address about something that may have happened in them life and use one of the quote them as one of the guiding lines.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this little child, she's only about 5, 6. And she goes to mainstream school, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So the dad it was the dad's week to give an address.
Mm-hmm.
And the dad gave an address, and in the address he said, his daughter came to him and said to him, Dad, I go to Nubia once a week and I go to my other school 5 times a week. Why can't I go to Nubia 5 times a week and go to my school once?
Wow. Oh,
And she's
yes.
only 6.
Look at that. Yeah.
He said, right, that the change that he's seen in his daughter in the little time that she has come to the school. And remember, you know, we only have them from 9:45
Yes.
till say 3 p.m., you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the impact, but you see, the difference is that we are teaching our children them because we love them.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Our CBAs don't get paid. We don't take payment to teach our children because it's not about that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that we have to create more institutions like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to churn out the future that we want to see. We have to make them sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
We got loads of black businesses, African businesses. They don't donate to those kind of institutions. And then them same people want to turn around and talk, look at the Asian them, look at the Jews, they stick together. No, they pay for their things. Them no wait upon government to give them nothing. Them digging up for them coffers.
Mm-hmm.
But you want black people to support your business, but you don't support black initiatives. And we need to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And so that needs to be one of the priorities, right? Definitely. Education.
May I tell you right now, my sister, and I probably said this before, you know. Me know a man them, you know, black man them, you know, them buy season ticket for football club. Them buy season ticket, you know. Yeah.
A bit of bad reception. Rewind and come again. A bit of a bad reception there. You were saying, you know, a black man who buys season ticket for football clubs.
Season ticket for football in a room.
How much for them season ticket them there?
Well, I did a bit of research one time, you know, and like one of them Premiership club there, you know, cheap season ticket is like 2,000 and odd, and 3,000 and odd.
Wow.
A man.
Wow. Wow. People are paying 2,000 to 3,000 for season tickets for a football match. You gone again, Prophet?
Go and look it up. Yeah? Just Google it. Google one of them big teams and you see how much for them season tickets is. And black people, man and woman too, buy season tickets for go watch millionaire kick football. Yeah? No, I'm not saying them shouldn't do that. What I'm saying, if you can do that, you can give some money to a black institution who's doing some voluntary work for the people in our community.
I think you're going through an area of bad reception again. We're not hearing you. But we certainly get the point of what you're saying, Prophet. We've got 5 more minutes. So our priority, one of our priorities and our highest priority as a people, in terms of getting ourselves back into our right mind, has to be around education, and it has to be around us taking responsibility for educating our children and educating ourselves. And it has
no, forget education. Forget that.
Africation.
We have enough.
We have to take this.
People, them don't do nothing for the community. Them get them education and them gone into the system and them forget about doing anything for them people. We want people who go into that system, acquire certain knowledge, and then them come back and give back to the community. That's an Africated African.
Right.
And them the people who are not educated African.
Right.
That them not do nothing for it.
And we know, we're familiar with the book, The Miseducation of the Negro, and what the mainstream education actually does. The mainstream education, by the time they finish educating our people, turn our people against their own people, because they then start to look down on their people and not want to put back in. But someone who has a Africated, comes out Africated now, somehow manages to retain the knowledge and confidence, of themselves, and want to give back to their community. Overs on that. So those are the sort of people that we need, and we need those people as well to invest in our own institutions that is Africating the minds of our young people. That is key, we're saying here today. That is key in the steps towards dismantling the mental enslavement, the colonial indoctrination that we've all been programmed with. And if we're gonna get back into our right mind, then we've got to start doing the work from an Africated perspective. We hear you on that, Prophet. So we've got about 4 more minutes, and then that's going to just leave me a couple of minutes to play the reparations track at the end. And so be mindful. We've been programmed how to think. We've been programmed what religions to actually partake in. We've been programmed, as to what our culture ought to be. We've been programmed, to look at each other in a certain way. We have been so programmed as a people. Most of us don't even realize that we've been programmed. And we have, some of us, even been programmed to self-destruct and our own worst enemy. That is the worst, of the programming. So those who have been really affected, if we look at the programming as a disease, some have the disease worse than others. And those that have the serious disease are even a destruction to their own people. So we're in the same situation. So when we talk about reparations, we also talk about repair. And there's a lot of repairing to be done. Prophet, I wish we had more time, but let me give you the last couple of minutes.
I'm asking our people to honor their lineage. I'm asking you, those of you who are Africans here in this country, to honor your lineage by attending the 1st of Maasai, which is a Friday. I think next week Friday too.
Yes.
Not Friday I come, but Friday after.
Yes.
See? At Windrush Square, Brixton, African Pioneer Square, Southwest 2. We'll be there from 9 till 8 p.m. 1 o'clock we are march down to Parliament with drummers and with sound and everything, because we're remembering those that made immense sacrifices to us in your own lineage. You understand? Me not talk just about the names where we know, like Marcus and Malcolm and Martin and Sojourner and all them people there. Me I talk about in your personal lineage, your personal journey. Many of your ancestors fight so you can there. Do not
Yeah.
dishonor them by not turning up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Ma'at Otep. And we will see you on the battlefield. And we will commune together. We'll eat together. We'll march together. We'll shout together. See? Yes. And we'll organize. It's an opportunity for us to network and organize. Garvey said it, organize or perish. You understand? We must come with a plural mind and get ourselves from this singular mind. Ubuntu, I am, because we are, and because we are, therefore I am. I exist because you exist. And because you exist, I exist. Ma'at Otep, Sister Shanice. Afroology, yeah?
Yes, you're forgiven. Of course, we forgive you. We know how busy you are. And, you know, the work's got to be done on the plantation because that's where we're at the moment. It'd be a wonderful thing if, you know, the reparations that we had was would allow us, you know, to have the time that we need just to find our true self again. But we're not there yet.
If I was a pastor, if I was a pastor, the congregation would look after me and make sure me can sit down and really study. You know, see, but you know, when you deal with liberation, you know, people them feel so with them free. But we there, we love them still, you know. Good, bad, or indifferent. Yeah, because we understand say we the damaged people. Ma'a Otep.
Maha Otep, thank you so much for joining us, albeit in the last few minutes. We appreciate your contribution to the discussion. I'm going to play a clip for you about the Reparations March. But before I do, just to remind you to get my book, Hidden in the Shadows of Ancient Britain, An Erased African History Restored. It's all about us getting back into our right mind and linking ourselves back up to our heritage and our lineage, okay? We have a huge amount of British history in Britain that has been erased, and I've gone to great lengths to do the research to put us back into our rightful place in ancient Britain. So check out that book, Hidden in the Shadows. I hope you will enjoy the reading. Okay, I'm going to share screen now, and I'm going to hope that you'll be able to watch with me a little something about the Reparations March, which will hopefully want to entice you to join us. There we go. Where's the volume? Oh, yes, I've got to take you off mute. Let me just take YouTube off mute. When it's ready. There we go, unmute. And you see it spinning already. There we go. Like let me stop and rewind. Let's hope that it will play reasonably well. If it doesn't play, then I would like to ask you to go and find this clip yourself. Okay? Oh, here we go. Come on. This is the Reparations March. This is what it looks like, family, and this is what we want it to look like again this year. 1st of August, every year, we meet at Windrush Square. This is Windrush Square. That's what we are. Wherever that's here. So go to my channel.
Seems like yesterday we were kings and queens. Golden was our pyramids, sights you have never seen. Kingdom of the greatness, kingdoms of greatness. We didn't need a thing. Land and gold and diamonds. Yes, we was on this thing. Black knights in shining armor. Black rights, you get your karma. We stay strong and praise the Father. Survive the wickedness from the master. Look how long my people been in sufferation. It's a
Rise up.
About time we got our reparation. We want our reparation. I'm singing for my nation. Look how long my people been in suffering. It's about time we got our reparation. We want our reparation. I'm singing for my nation. I need the paper for the label of my ancestors. Those bankers, they were killers, not no investors. I'm talking 500 years of enslavement. We built these roads and also the pavements. The buildings
So family, I certainly hope
got our blood on it, so where's the pavement? And Black Lives Matter, so I'm trying to save it.
Let me put it back on.
You invaded our land, schemed and you planned, lied and deceived, took away our bands, gave us disease, threw us overseas, brainwashed us in the school and stole our history.
Okay, I'm trying to put this on mute.
Young youths doing time,
Okay.
police doing murders, but they're never doing time. Look how long my people.
Imagine this is the UK and this is the internet that we got.
About time we got our reparation. We want our reparation. I'm singing for my nation. Look how long my people been in.
I don't know if you're hearing it, okay?
Yeah.
But
Sista
Shanice, can you
you
hear me?
are?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing it. Yes.
You have to remember,
It's
so,
jumping.
you know, sabotage is a thing them people perfect, you know. So don't feel say, you know, you understand when they do for them things it work, you know. You know,
Yeah. It is.
don't underestimate the popularity of your program and anything that they can do to destabilize it.
They will and they do. They already shadow ban me. They already play with my statistics. They already stop my shows from featuring on people's feed. Some of my subscribers have even told me that they've been unsubscribed when they didn't unsubscribe. And I see that even happening on my TikTok as well, where they're unsubscribing. They demonetize my channel. But still, you know, we press on. Yeah, make them go on. So rise up, families, to those who do continue to support. Thank you, Prophet, for coming on. I'm going to log off now, but please do join us on the 1st of Masai next Friday. Go to my channel, watch the video for yourself. We want our reparations. It's a wonderful, wonderful day where this is what it looks like when we come together as a family, when we march together in the spirit of unity and oneness. And I need you to be there, family. Okay? Be there. Take the day off work if necessary. Yeah, take half day off. Join us from lunchtime for the march. Yeah, if you can't take the whole day, take half of the day off. We need you there. Okay, bring the children as well. Let them experience, you know, what it's like when we come together, you know, not just to party, but we come together because there is a serious matter that we need to address within our community. And this is what, you know, we want our young people to see, you know, us as Africans coming together, you know, for a common goal and a common aim. So let me leave it there for now. Thank you for watching. All being well, we'll be back next strong. Prophet, drive safe, yeah? Stay strong and powerful. Maha Otep. More love, family, more strength, more voodoo power to each and every one of you. Sister Shanice.